What is up, guys? How are y'all doing today? Welcome back to the channel for another episode of Retro Reviews. It's the season summary pregame show here, but we actually got one game left to play. Took the Broncos through a season with the challenge of going with strictly the backup. So here was my starting lineup: Gary Kubiak, Melvin Bratton, Sammy Winder was our main two running backs. Ricky DeTeal, Michael Young, and Paul Green, the tight end. Yeah. So that was my challenge on offense. I even did a challenge on defense to where I did not allow myself to use the two safeties, Steve Atwater or Dennis Smith. So playing my style, I use a defensive back to cover on first and second down and pick run. So I had to do it with Wyman Henderson and Tyrone Braxton, right? So that was my challenge. So I need to play this final game against the Chargers. Then we'll do a recap. We'll finish out. This is the final game of the season. So we'll do the scores of the other games also. And then we'll go to the score of our game. We're playing the Chargers at Jack Murphy Stadium. Hey, the Brownies get a W, 27-21. Wasn't a blowout, but hey, a win's a win. And anytime you can beat them, even if you just beat them by 1 point, anytime you can give them those Steelers a L, it's a good day, ain't it? There you go. I always used to call this game the Toilet Bowl. Colts-Bucks. It's the last game of the season. And the Bucks get the edge. I'd give the Bucks the edge. They're a better team. Well, Colts are really the worst team on the game. Dolphins over the Jets, 24-20. They still have a chance to win the division, I think. Let's go back and see here. Yeah. If Detroit would beat Buffalo, Miami would be division champs. But if Buffalo wins, then they're going to be going by points. So at least Miami did what they had to do. Vikings, Packers. Ooh, the Vikings, 28-24. That division's still up for grabs, I think. Yep. But it looks like Green Bay's still going to win because they both have the same record. You figured it would have been announced right there, but I guess they're going to wait till the last game played for some reason. Steve Walsh, Saints quarterback, was injured. Phoenix Cardinals took care of him anyway. Oilers, Giants. Stephen Baker, the touchdown maker, is what they used to call him. Ooh, the Oilers with the field goal in overtime took the Giants down, slayed the Giants, even though Moon had a big day, 363 yards, but 3 picks. But hey, going against that Giants defense, they're a tough defense. Still got the W, though. That's what matters. Bills, Lions. Miami's rooting for Detroit there. Oh, but to no avail. Bills in a strong win, 38-17. No division winner was announced there though, either. But it'll be the Bills because it did put them over the top. So I guess they'll just wait till the final games played before the announcement, I guess. Church Bengals. And the Bengals get a W to finish the season off. Redskins, Eagles. Ooh, the Eagles. Boo! Blah. Beat my Redskins, how dare you? Seahawks, Rams. Raiders with a field goal. Jeff Jagger field goal knocked the Chiefs out. Two more games here before it's our game. Cowboys, Falcons. Cowboys by 1 point. Jeez. Hey, it's still a W though, right? Bears, Niners. Ooh, the Bears get a W over the Niners. How about that? Well, the Bears defense had their way. Alright, it's our game. We'll come back at you when it's final there. There it is. We held on to beat the Chargers 28-21. We was actually up 28-7, but they did get a couple touchdowns late. Made it close. Made it dicey at the end, but the Broncos held on and ran out the clock. Season is in the books. So the Buffalo Bills are division champs officially now. So are the Green Bay Packers, just by points calculation. Okay, so let's check those standings out real quick. Yeah, Miami and Buffalo both 12-4, but because of points, Buffalo had the edge. Only Houston from the Central. Browns almost got in the playoffs there. They was 8-8. They missed it by just one game because you can see the Chiefs got in the playoffs at 9-7. So, yeah. And look at that. Cowboys got in by that 1 point win over the Falcons. Packers, Vikings, okay, Niners. All right, let's go back to the home page for our season summary. Yeah. So yeah, as I said earlier, I took him through with this here was my starting lineup, right? So yeah, we went 14-2 on the season. The two games we lost were to the Raiders and the Chiefs. And it was back to back, right? I believe it was the Raiders first, then the Chiefs. So yeah, we lost to those two guys back to back. But we rebounded and finished the season 14-2. So let's go over our players here and see how they did. So our starting quarterback was Gary Kubiak. How'd he do? Oh wow, I did about the same thing as with Tom Tuchel, right? As far as like the just first thing that stuck out was the yardage. 2,980 yards. Just 20 yards short of a 3,000 yard season for old Coob. But 68.3% completed for, we'll say still, but basically 3,000 yards. 29 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. Also ran it 20 times for 139 yards, 6.9 yard average, and a couple rushing touchdowns. One of those touchdowns was that last game against the Chargers. Kubiak, pretty good season there. Steve Sewell, he was mostly on the returns, but he did get in there on the offense just here and there. Sammy Winder, one of our main backs, 67 carries, 260 yards, 12 rushing touchdowns. Not a great average, only a 3-point yard average, so below a 4-yard average on the runs. 17 catches, 323 yards, 19-yard average on the catches there. So our better guy was Melvin Bratton. 133 attempts, 570 yards, 4.2 yard average, so he did have a better average than Winder. 13 rushing touchdowns. Also, he had 21 catches for 338 yards and a receiving touchdown. So Melvin Bratton was probably our, he was our best running back. Ricky Nattiel, our wide receiver there, is for number one wide receiver. 29 catches, 756 yards, and 10 receiving touchdowns. This is my first time taking the Broncos through all backups like this. Our other receiver, Michael Young, 25 catches, 980 yards, and 15 receiving touchdowns, and he is on excellent. He had two touchdowns that last game against the Chargers. So he had two, and Nattiel had one against the Chargers. So yeah, man, that stinks. Look at it. Michael Young was 20 yards short of 1,000, and just like Coob was 20 yards short of a 3,000 yard season. What's the odds of that? It's funny how things work out, huh? And our tight end, Paul Green, 25 catches, 550 yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. He came on later in the year. In the early goings, first 5 or 6 games, he just almost had nothing, right? But he did come on later on. Our kicker, David Treadwell, was perfect on the season. Hit all 59 extra points and was 14 for 14 on field goals. Our punter, Mike Horan, had 5 punts for 363 yards, a 72.6 yard average. That might now be my record. I'm going to say it is, because I think Prokop was the previous best, but he was like around 70 yards. So I'm sure Horan was the league leader there. But yeah, look at his kicking ability, 81. Yeah, I think I broke my own record there. Let's go to the defense. Ron Holmes. I was trying to get him a sack last game of the season, but to no avail. He had no sacks during the season. Greg Cragen, also no sacks. But Warren Powers, man, he just had a season out of nowhere. 12 sacks for Warren Powers. On excellent right now. He had a couple sacks against the Chargers. He almost had a safety, but Tolliver barely escaped him in the end zone. Carl Mecklenburg, 5 sacks. Michael Brooks, 12 sacks. Mark Munford had nothing. And Simon Fletcher had 3 sacks. So yeah, Mark Munford is usually the pick play guy, but if basically I would control, if I knew I picked the play, I would control him and just go cover a receiver. So really, Warren Powers became our pick play sack guy. That's how he got the 12 sacks. He was getting the sacks. All right, how about our backfield? Wyman Henderson. He just had one interception, and I did control him when he did get that one. But look how poorly he's rated. 13 maximum speed. How are you a defensive back and having that shabby speed? So needless to say, I didn't control him that much. I did control Tyrone Braxton, who's much better rated, who had 8 interceptions for 21 yards return and a sack. So Tyrone Braxton, I think that's the best season I've ever seen him do. Steve Atwater did have 1 interception and 1 sack. He got that on his own because I didn't control him. Dennis Smith, 1 interception. He did have a fumble recovery, scoop and score for a touchdown too. Dennis Smith did. I believe it was against the Steelers. So it's like, yeah, what better team to do that against, right? So there's the defensive stats, or stats for everybody. Let's check out the league leaders here. So Kubiak was rated number 3 behind Jim Kelly and Warren Moon. Wow, Steve DeBerg, number 4. Phil Simms, 5. Joe Montana, Don Mikowski, Dan Marino, Jim Everett, and Randall Cunningham rounded out the top 10. So yeah, I wasn't number 1 rated this time with old Coob, but still did pretty good though. He still had a pretty decent season. You know, not a great season, but this pretty decent. I mean, 29 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. That's still good numbers, you know. Receiving, I don't think we're going to be up there. Maybe in the yards per catch. Let's see. Yep, Michael Young, number 1. How about that? Let's see. Probably Ricky's not up there because he had a lot of catches over the middle for short to medium range. Wow, I guess he wasn't. Guess just Michael Young there. Yeah, Michael Young was going deep. He was our deep guy. Rushing, yeah, whoa, Bo Jackson, 2,000 yard season. Look at that, 2,100 yards, 2,132 yards. Bo Jackson was getting it done this year. Thurman Thomas, Ernest Biner, Barry Sanders, Johnny Johnson. Anderson, let's see. But that probably ain't going to be up there. Wow, look at those attempts. Bo Jackson, 207 attempts. Melvin Bratton's right there with 133. He's number 10 on attempts. What touchdowns? There's Bratton again, 13 touchdowns, yeah. Let's go to the punting. I bet it's Mike Horan. How about that? 72.6 yard average. No, I was going to say edging out, but it's like, no, he beat Landetta by a long shot, by a big margin, almost 20 yards. Landetta, 52.3 yard average compared to Horan, 72.6. I guess my all-time greatest average on punt. So, cool. Did it with my Broncos guy, Mike Horan. Nice. Nicely done. How about the sacks? Ken Harvey of the Cardinals and Bruce Smith are tied at 23. Richard Dent has 22. Yep. Let's see. Yeah, we had. I think. Warren Powers was our. Well, Warren Powers and Michael Brooks both had 12. Yeah, there they are. Tied for number 18. How about kickoffs? I think Steve Sewell actually did pretty good on kickoffs. I bet he's on here. He should be on here somewhere. There he is. He's number 16. 17 yard average and a touchdown. One of them did go for a touchdown. So Steve Sewell pretty good on the returns for us. And there he is, number 2 on the punt return average. But interceptions, I know we're not going to be there. Waymer, Beard, Mayhew. Hey, how about that? Tyrone Braxton tied for number 3 with Martin Mayhew and Rod Woodson and Richard. No. Is that Richard Johnson of the Oilers? I believe it is. I know there's a Johnson on the Lions who's a receiver, and I think they've got the same name. Tyrone Braxton, how about that? And number 1 score in the league was Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas. Both had 28 touchdowns. Bo had 24, Anderson 22, Bentley 22, and Jerry Rice had 21 touchdowns. There's the league leaders. How about the rankings? I know we're not going to be up there. I just know we're not. Because, as far as yardage goes, we kind of grinding along there. There we are. We're number 25. 25 ranked offense. Let's see. Passing, we're number 10. Yeah, I know we're going to be. I know rushing is where we struggled the most. Well, 25 rushing. So we did okay passing, but with those guys, having 25 maximum seed, sometimes 31, 38 if they got on good or excellent. I think Bratton might be actually 44 when he's on excellent. So yeah. And we already did the standings. So there you go, guys. There's the season summary. Now we got to see. Oh boy. We're going to be taking on either the Kansas City Chiefs or the Houston Oilers. Either team will. Yeah, it's going to be a challenge. But let's go ahead and simulate the wild card games. See who we got. We got Dolphins, Raiders, Chiefs, Oilers, Redskins, Vikings, Cowboys, Packers on the other side. All right. Let's simulate the wild card games and see who's moving on and see who our opponent will be tonight. First up, Dolphins, Raiders. Ooh, the Raiders go into Miami and get a W. 100-yard day for Bo. Redskins, Vikings. All right, the Washington Redskins. 17-10 over the Vikes. Wade Wilson had 3 interceptions and under 100 yards passing. There you go. Art Monk had 4 grabs, 103 yards. All right, here's the game we're looking at. Houston Oilers, the winner moves on to face Denver. Ooh, the Chiefs with a 1-point win. 21-20. How about that? Steve DeBerg, 300 yards passing. Unbelievable. I was actually expecting the Oilers to win, kind of. Jeffries, 7 catches, 170 yards. Stephon Page, 4 catches, 181 yards. There you go. The Kansas City Chiefs are moving on and traveling out west to take on the Broncos at Mile High. Oh boy. There you go, Ray. Got a showdown at Mile High with the Chiefs. Let's continue. Packers, Cowboys. Ooh, the Packers edge out the Cowboys thanks to a Chris Jackie field goal. Low-scoring game, 13-10. Sorry, Josh. Packers moving on to face the Giants. Redskins go face the 49ers. So then the division round, we got Raiders, Bills, Chiefs, Broncos over here. So that'll be for tonight's game. Alright guys, well that concludes our season summary show for the Broncos. And my challenge here. Not a bad, good season as far as our win-loss record, 14-2 on the season. Like I said, with this lineup, we kind of was kind of like in slow, kind of felt like we was in slow motion a little bit, because our guys are slow. Bratton is 31 on good, so on excellent he's 38. So and Winder's even a bit worse. So we're going to have our A game tonight when we face the Chiefs. That's all I know. That's going to be a tough game, especially playoffs. Oh boy. But hey, we had a good season though. But that part is over. Now we'll see how far can we go with this lineup against the Chiefs and my playing style. I'm going to go ahead and change this right now. If I get at the play action pass, might be able to get something there. I know better than do the rollout. So that's be an automatic sack. So, okay, guys. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you tonight when they take on the Chiefs from Mile High. Okay. So we'll see you then. So until then, have a good one. Okay, and I'll see you when I see you. But if this is your first time to the channel, tap subscribe, then the bell ding ding, so you're notified when I upload new videos. So until next time, guys, stay frosty, keep it retro, and come Lord Jesus.
We're fighters for truth, justice, and the American way.
And liftoff. We have liftoff. Challenger has cleared the tower.